Hey guys, welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Amber and we are back with another large YouTuber group challenge. We are doing a fall challenge. There is like 20 or 30 different channels participating in this, and you can either go fall and festive or you can go spooky and scary. I will link the playlist with everybody's video in the description below. So let's go ahead and get started and see which direction I go with this challenge.
Okay, and here is the piece that I picked out of my giant hoard for this challenge. It is a mid-century record player cabinet. I believe it's from the 60s. I picked this up off of Facebook Marketplace for, I want to say $30. I always like to start my projects by removing all the hardware, and if there's any doors or drawers or anything that come apart, I like to remove those hinges and take that all apart as well. The top and the front side details had been painted in a latex paint, so I started by stripping that off. I used Clean Strip in the 15-minute formula. After I was done with the stripper, I went in with some afterwash and some fine steel wool to clean up any residue or any residual stripper that was left behind. I then went in with some Dawn dish soap and some hot water and gave the entire piece a really good scrub. I flipped it on its back to not only clean the bottom side, but to also unscrew all four legs so that I could clean those up later. I then realized that there was a lot of screw holes on the bottom and kind of started investigating it. And that's when I realized that one of the dividers for the records had actually been moved over. So it was more narrow, so they could probably fit something in between. You can see the old screw holes there. So I'm gonna go ahead and completely take it all apart, and when I put it back together, I'll put it back in its original spot so that the cubbies are symmetrical. Using some wood filler, I filled in all the extra screw holes that were on the bottom. I know nobody will see this, but it was more or less for me to remember exactly which holes I need to put stuff back into. Once that was dry, I went ahead and I sanded all that wood filler smooth. The veneer along the top edge was starting to peel up, so I decided to just take a chisel and I just scraped it all off. I was really hoping to save the walnut veneer on the top, but all those light spots that I'm pointing to, those are actually air bubbles underneath the veneer, and there was a ton of them. So I originally thought that I could cut them out and fill them, but that was before I realized how many there was. They were all over the top. So that's when I decided to take that same chisel and I would start to just peel off the veneer that way. I quickly realized that that was not going to work either. Once I got a little bit of the veneer up, it was just like this really crumbly pressed board underneath. It wasn't coming off and it wasn't going to be something that I could sand down and fill with Bondo, so I had to think of a new plan. I decided that I would just make a new top to put on top of the existing damaged one. So I got some wood from Home Depot, I cut it down to size on my table saw, and then I secured it in place with a combination of Gorilla Glue and my brad nailer. I then repeated that exact same process to make a new top for the inside shelf, since it had holes in it, which I'm assuming was probably for cords and stuff for the record player, so now it would be completely flat and usable. I applied iron-on edge banding to the entire top, the front and the sides, and the front of the shelf that I cut that board for to help hide those seams from the plywood and just make it look like it was one solid piece of wood. Then using an X-Acto knife, I just trimmed off any excess of the edge banding that was hanging down. I chose the color Sweater Weather by Mélange. It's a brand new color that was just released this month. It is a true pumpkin orange. It is the perfect fall color, so I thought it was fitting for this challenge. And I am applying it with my zebra wedge brush. To seal in my paint, I am using Polyvine in the dead flat finish, and I am applying this with my 2-inch Polyvine varnish brush. I did a total of 2 coats of this on all the painted areas. I'll be staining the top and the front sides. So first I'm going to start with Minwax Pre-Stain Wood Conditioner. I put that on there and I let it sit for about 5 minutes, and then I came back in and wiped any excess off with paper towels. I then applied General Finishes Antique Walnut Gel Stain to the top with a foam brush. After I had that on there, I also wiped it back. I applied 2 coats of this and I repeated the same process on the front little side details. To seal in all my stained areas, I used Minwax Polyacrylic in a satin sheen, and I applied 2 coats of this across all those areas with a foam brush. And then of course we can't forget about the legs. I did sand those down to the bare wood, and then I repeated the same staining process that I did on the top on all 4 of the legs. I then took some Rust-Oleum spray paint in pure gold, and I sprayed all 4 of the tips that go on to the legs to kind of bring them back to life. They were pretty tarnished and beat up. Using my brad nailer, I nailed the new backing board into place. Now that all of that is done, let's take a look back and remember what we started with here with this little MCM record cabinet. And here is the completed look. As always, let me know what you guys think below in the comments. Also, be sure to check out the playlist that I have linked below in the description so you can check out all the other channels that are participating in this challenge. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys next weekend with another flip.